How did Jinwoo become the most powerful god? I mean, bro leveled up so much he was untouchable. Unless you're Chae-in. You know what I'm saying? But as you know, Sung Jinwoo didn't start off as an absolute Chad. He was a skinny little boy who just wanted to survive and help his family. So in this video, let me tell you about all of Jinwoo's level ups, stats, abilities, and skills he earned, plus every single weapon he's ever gotten his hands on. Even if you're caught up with the manhwa, I'll include some details from the light novel. Now let's start after when Jinwoo survived the Cartenon temple and started seeing the system. As you can see, he was at level 1 and started seeing the daily quest with Saitama's exercise routine. And when Jinwoo first saw that hardcore strength training, he legit thought it was a joke. He actually tried doing push-ups, but when nothing happened, he figured he was just seeing things and went straight to sleep. Oh, by the way, in the light novel, the system didn't even count the push-ups because they weren't proper push-ups. Anyway, the next time Jinwoo woke up, he was screwed. Because the next thing you know, the system instantly threw him into a desert. He ended up trying to run away from man-eating centipedes as he kept running non-stop. Bro actually learned one passive skill and an active skill. For the non-gamers, passive skills, just like the name suggests, are passive. No need to interact with them, they just activate automatically. Meanwhile, active skills are the total opposite. You gotta activate them yourself. So, Jinwoo's passive skill, Tenacity, kicks in when Jinwoo's health bar drops below 30%. Any damage he takes is halved, or 50% less, helping him stay alive. This skill actually helped him survive during boss fights, just like the one in chapter 27 when he fought Cerberus. For his active skill, Speed. Well, from the name itself, it enhances Jinwoo's movement speed by 30%, which is a total game changer. Because of it, Jinwoo can easily slip past his enemies, or he can just instantly kick their asses. Yeah, there's no slow-mo for Jinwoo. Every time he uses this, 1 mana will be consumed every minute the effect is in use. Okay, not bad. In the light novel, Jinwoo noticed another passive skill aside from Tenacity. It's called Unknown, and it was already at max level. So what does this mean? This will actually play an important role for Jinwoo, and I'll explain that later in the video. By the way, cuters, these skills come from all the battles Jinwoo experienced and runestones he found. And the best part about these skills is, just like Jinwoo, they can level up. But unlike Jinwoo, whose growth is a bottomless pit, these abilities have a skill cap. Yeah, Jinwoo can only max them out 3 times. That might sound pretty limited, but as long as Jinwoo keeps grinding, bam, he can unlock their ultimate form. Aside from these skills, another important aspect is the 5 attributes or stats, which are Strength, Stamina, Agility, Intelligence, and Perception. But in the manhwa, it's called Strength, Health, Agility, Intelligence, and Sense. Strength obviously means physical power, where you can punch hard or lift something heavy easily. The funny thing about this is when Jinwoo tried to test if it actually worked, he attempted to lift the hospital bed. Next, Health. Obviously is HP or health points, or life bar. You can see that in games if you're almost dying or something. And the greater his health, the tankier Jinwoo can become. Stamina is obviously connected to his fatigue. The higher the stamina, the better, because he won't easily run out of breath. Agility improves his quickness, or how fast he moves. Intelligence is obviously for mana. Yeah, didn't see that coming, did you? The more mana he has, the more skills he can use, or the longer Jinwoo can use these skills. And I mean the skills that require mana. Then there's Sense and Perception. As he improved these, he could detect mana and identify how strong a person was. It also worked like Spider-Man's Spidey senses, which is exactly why he could sense the insects in the C-rank dungeon and easily dodge his opponent's attacks. But another stat no one is talking about is Jinwoo's Charm. I mean, bro rizzed not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 goddamn waifus and the nurse, who's arguably the thirstiest of them all. Second to Chae-in, of course. Because she went in there and had a taste. Literally. Catch what I'm saying there? Now, fast forward to the dungeon in the subway. The very first dungeon he faced alone. Jinwoo also couldn't leave the dungeon unless he defeated the boss or used a teleportation stone. So the very first monster he encountered in this dungeon was the steel-fanged lichen. At first he fought it with his bare hands, but ended up killing it with Mr. Kim's sword, his first weapon, which boosted his attack by 10 points. After killing this magic beast, he leveled up to level 2. Yay! So with Mr. Kim's sword, Jinwoo killed like 20 or 30 lichens. Basically he wiped out so many of them, earning the title Wolf Assassin. This title boosts all of Jinwoo's ability by 40% when he's facing beast-type monsters. When Jinwoo went deeper into the dungeon, he started killing monkeys and cats. After annihilating every monster in sight, Jinwoo hit level 15. He entered the boss stage, where the massive snake, Kasaka, instantly kicked Jinwoo's ass. As our MC fought the massive snake, his sword broke, and Jinwoo had no choice but to use his hands again, which actually worked. Now after killing Kasaka, he leveled up 3 times, which puts Jinwoo at level 18. Damn. Killing the more basic magic beasts actually gave more points than the boss itself. This snake sucks. Well, wait a minute, I take it back, because after killing this massive snake, Jinwoo gets 2 crazy items. First up was Jinwoo's first legit weapon, Kasaka's Fang, a dagger that has 2 effects. One is Paralyze, which as you guess paralyzes Jinwoo's opponent. The second effect, Bleed, causes Jinwoo's enemies to lose 1% of their health every second. The other item was Kasaka's Venom Gland. Drinking this venom is a mixed bag, a buff and a debuff, making his skin much tougher, but the kicker, it permanently damages his muscles due to the poison, slashing 35 points from his strength. Jinwoo hit level 21 after defeating the C-rank spider boss, and got a new skill after he killed the a-hole Hwang Dong-suk. The skill's named Bloodlust. It triggers an effect called Fear, usable on multiple targets, and scared the hell out of enemies for 1 minute. In chapter 25, it was also revealed that after Jinwoo woke up from the double dungeon, the system rewarded him for completing the secret quest, Courage of the Weak. This reward? A blessing from Kandiaru, the Great Mage, also known as the Architect. Yup, that talking statue holding the commandments in the Cartenon temple. The guy who created the system actually has a name. Yeah, I thought he was just called the Architect. Anyway, with this blessing, Jinwoo's always healthy and strong. Yeah, it's a buff that automatically detoxifies his body. It also has 2 other effects. Number 1, a temporary effect named the Will to Recover. Means any body damage gets restored. That was exactly how his severed leg grew back. Number 2, a permanent effect shields Jinwoo from all diseases. Try to poison him or hit him with any status abnormalities. It ain't gonna work on Jinwoo. Plus, his regeneration abilities boost while he's asleep. That's exactly why when he drank Kasaka's Venom Gland, the negative effect didn't stand a chance. No debuffs on him, and boom, Jinwoo had a 20% physical damage reduction. Next, Jinwoo enters the Demon King's castle. The system never shows how tough the dungeon is, but according to Jinwoo, this castle is as tough as an S-rank dungeon. And the crazy part, as soon as Jinwoo got close to the castle's gates, he was already up against a boss, the Gatekeeper of Hell, Cerberus. This beast was tough to deal with, since none of Jinwoo's skills worked on it, but Jinwoo still managed to kill the 3-headed dog and leveled up 4 more levels. Now Jinwoo's at level 25. He's also obtained 3 items, the Cerberus's Fang, the key to the demon's castle, and the Warden's Necklace. Once equipped, the necklace boasts agility and senses by 20 points each. Jinwoo hit level 27 after taking down the Hobgoblin boss and the B-rank hunter Kang. Defeating Kang earned him a runestone called Camouflage, or Stealth. Just like the name suggests, this skill can conceal Jinwoo's physical body and temporarily hide all traces of his presence. It burns through 10 mana points every second it's active. Now with Sung hitting level 27, he started doing the C-rank raids with Jinho, and after a few raids he reached level 39. Now we're getting close to my favorite number. Just replace that 3 with a 6. This time his speed skill leveled up, and he learned 2 new skills that you can only use with daggers. Number 1, critical attack. Jinwoo's attacks got way better. Now he can find his ops' weak spots and cause a lot of critical damage. Number 2, advanced dagger techniques. Because Jinwoo used daggers a lot, he got really good at it, making his dagger 33% more painful. After killing a werewolf-like magic beast, he gained another level, making Jinwoo level 40. Then the system sent a notification saying Jinwoo had reached the required level for a job change quest. So, in games, a job is kind of like what your character class or profession is. Like, being awesome with swords makes you a swordsman, and being good at magic makes you a mage. And that job can level up or change to something even more powerful, which I'll get into later. Now, for the job change quest, Jinwoo entered a dungeon that literally threw everything at him. Like he couldn't exit until he killed all his enemies, couldn't use the shop or potions, and his skills drained too much mana without enough intelligence stats to back them up. Jinwoo also didn't finish his daily quest, and to avoid the man-eating centipedes he had to finish this dungeon ASAP. He also fought some tanky knights, and since his daggers were useless anyway, Jinwoo tried to punch his way through. Well, never mind that, cause that worked anyway. Aside from knights, there were assassins that could also use the camouflage skill, and there were also mages that could use deadly magic. I told you, there's a lot of problems. After fighting countless enemies, Jinwoo reached level 45 and acquired quite a set of items, like the B rank knight's chestplate, which reduced physical damage by 7%. Not bad. However, this item also had a debuff. If Jinwoo's strength dropped below 80, his movements would slow down. Now for the exciting part, Jinwoo versus Igris. Igris was way stronger than Jinwoo, and since his weapons weren't effective against this Red Knight, you know what happened next? Jinwoo used his fists again. But damn, Igris was so badass. Like, he wanted to fight Jinwoo equally, and even without a sword, Igris managed to kick Jinwoo's ass. And even though Jinwoo was wearing armor, Igris punched him so hard that Jinwoo felt like he had already lost about 500 HP. Just imagine if Jinwoo didn't have any items. He probably would have died. Then Jinwoo tried to outspeed Igris, and despite his tenacity skill being active, Igris still smacked him to the wall. But then, Igris used his Jedi-like powers to grab his sword and try to behead Jinwoo. But Jinwoo didn't give up, and managed to defeat Igris. By the way guys, at this time Igris was not yet at full power. Later on in the epilogue, it was revealed that his true powers were sealed. So imagine that if Jinwoo was fighting Igris at his true power. The moment he entered the dungeon, it would have already been game over for Jinwoo. Now, Jinwoo defeated the boss, and he gained 2 levels, and he acquired 4 items like at once. But the most important ones were the Crimson Knight's helmet, which was actually an S rank item that once worn, reduces physical damage by 15%, and increases health and strength stats by 20 points as well. The next item was a runestone granting him a skill, the Commander's Touch, a skill Jinwoo could use with 0 mana. It's like telekinesis because Jinwoo can control objects without touching them. Honestly, this is my favorite skill. And the Commander's Touch just depends, like its power depends on Jinwoo's level, on how heavy an object he can use with it. So he defeated the dungeon boss, but the quest was not over yet, because he still needs to defeat the remaining enemies. Jinwoo was outnumbered and actually had a hard time fighting them, and when he was about to die, the penalty for the daily quest kicked in and transferred him to a penalty zone and saved his life. Wow, what a buzzer beater. Jinwoo used the 4 hours to access the shop, heal himself, kill the giant centipedes, and managed to upgrade his critical skill as he leveled up 4 times. He also bought a dagger from the shop called the Night Killer. It might have been a bit pricey, but I think it was worth it. This dagger has an effect where attacks deal 20% additional damage to armored units. Yeah, this weapon could slice through a knight's armor like Bara, hombre. Once the penalty quest ended, he was brought back to the dungeon, and Jinwoo's enemies multiplied. But this time, armed with all his items and skills, Jinwoo finally defeated them. By the way, as he fought, he gained another skill, Dagger Toss, which is basically throwing a dagger. Yeah, that's it. It's throwing a dagger. But obviously it's more deadlier as Sung Jinwoo levels up, you know? Now, finally Jinwoo finished the quest, and as a reward, the perfect job for Jinwoo will be assigned based on his overall record. Since he's fast and strong, and has been using daggers, Jinwoo became a necromancer. Yeah, nobody saw that coming. That's a job for mages. And since Jinwoo exceeded the estimated playtime, hadn't used the teleportation stone, his health remained above 50%. And he defeated all the enemies. His total number of bonus points were so high that he was instantly promoted from Necromancer to the Monarch of Shadows. Side note, for those of you who might not know, some games feature something known as second jobs. For example, if you're a knight, you can level that up into a swordmaster, or a mage to a grand sorcerer. And in Jinwoo's case, he went from being a necromancer to being the Monarch of Shadows. With that, he learned new job-specific skills, gained bonus stats, and earned the title Conqueror of Adversity. This title grants a 1% stat increase for every 1% of Jinwoo's missing health. His skill, Shadow Extraction, lets him say the classic word, arise, and can summon corpses back to life, which are called shadows. Like Commander's Touch, Shadow Extraction doesn't require mana. However, if the corpse is too strong or they've died long ago, there's a chance that Jinwoo will fail to turn his target into a shadow. At that time, the limit or number of shadows Jinwoo could extract was around 30. Jinwoo experienced this when he tried to extract Igris because he was too strong. Yet, Jinwoo was successful and Igris became the first major shadow he ever extracted. Next job skill was Shadow Preservation. This skill allows Jinwoo to keep some of his shadow soldiers. These preserved soldiers can be summoned at any time, or be reabsorbed for later use. And at that time, Jinwoo could only preserve 20 of them. If Jinwoo successfully extracted a shadow, he could also exterminate them and send them back to nothingness. When Jinwoo successfully finished this quest, he had already reached level 51. The next level after that would come from the Red Gate. Stepping into this gate cuts you off from the outside world, meaning no help can reach you. You're stranded with escape only possible by defeating the boss or if a dungeon break occurs. Inside the Red Gate, Jinwoo leveled up by defeating an ice bear with his bare hands. Using his shadows, he took down several ice bears. Meanwhile, Igris effortlessly beat the pack leader, and then Jinwoo extracted their shadows. Jinwoo also turned Kim Chul, an A-rank hunter who tried to kill him, into his shadow and named him Iron. Jinwoo and his shadows fought Baruka, and Iron was the one who gave the finishing blow and killed Baruka. After defeating Baruka, the dungeon boss, Jinwoo leveled up 2 more levels, successfully clearing the dungeon. Jinwoo tried to extract Baruka, but failed 3 times, mostly because Baruka was way stronger than him back then. So instead he acquired Baruka's daggers, A-rank weapons infused with magic that lightens the wielder's load for enhanced agility, granting 110 attack points plus 10 agility. After completing the 19 raids promised to Jinho, Jinwoo leveled up further, reaching level 61. Next up, we're heading back to the Demon Castle. This time for Jinwoo's quest, he needed to collect 10,000 demon souls. Wow, it might be difficult, but the rewards are pretty slick. So, from the 1st to the 27th floor, Jinwoo took out tons of demons, collecting over 2,000 souls, and even leveled up his commander's touch. After that, he cleared the 47th to 50th floors, and reached the ruler of the lower floors, the fat-ass demon boss, Vulcan. But even though this guy was thick, he was fast and strong. Yet Jinwoo outplayed him and defeated him. Jinwoo obtained 4 items from Vulcan. But here are the most important ones. Number 1, Demon Monarch's Earring. It's an S-rank item, boosting health and strength by 20 points. Completing the set with the ring and necklace gives Jinwoo an extra stat boost. Number 2, Orb of Avarice. An A-rank magic item that has an effect called Desire to Destroy, that increases the magic damage by twice the amount. It can also be equipped with Jinwoo's shadow. Number 3, Fragment of the World Tree. This is an important item for Jinwoo. Think of this item like a recipe that can be used to craft a powerful magic item, Holy Water of Life, that can heal any illness. Then Jinwoo defeated another demon boss, Metis, and he also leveled up 2 times in the process. He also gained 2 items. First, Spring Water, another ingredient for that Holy Water of Life. Second, the Demon Monarch's Necklace, part of that cool set, boosting agility and intelligence by 20 points. When Jinwoo finished the quest, he received 3 rewards. For his first reward, Jinwoo gained a cursed random loot box that gave him a mysterious key, like no name, no deets. But you see, this key turns out to be super important later on. Jinwoo also explained that there are actually 2 types of loot boxes. The first one was the blessed random loot box that gives the player what they desire, and the cursed random loot box gives the player an item they need. For the second reward, he put all the bonus stats into his intelligence, and for the third reward, he obtained the blueprint for the Holy Water of Life. To make the Holy Water of Life, he needs 3 items. He's got the first 2, and now he just needs the purified blood of the Demon King. Next, at the A-rank gate, Jinwoo joined crew of A-rank and B-rank hunters as their porter. After being attacked by a group of high orcs, Jinwoo with his camouflage skill managed to take out 5 or 7 of them. After that, he leveled up 1 level. When the strike squad planned to head back outside, they found the barrier they entered was sealed. Then another group of high orcs, larger than the first ones, surrounded them. That's when Kargalgan, the high orc boss, possessed one of his underlings and asked to meet these hunters. Since they were outnumbered and outmatched, the leader of the hunters, Son Ki-hoon, agreed to their demands, but they actually planned to take on the boss and let Jinwoo make a run for it. But as soon as they got there, the hunters saw just how many high orcs were hanging out there, just, a lot. Ki-hoon mentioned that with this number, these orcs could destroy a small city. When they finally faced Kargalgan, the hunters got totally overpowered, and their plan failed because the other hunters chickened out. But Ki-hoon still tried to attack, and he almost, RIP'd. Luckily, Jinwoo was there, and he swooped in to save Ki-hoon. And with the shadows versus the high orcs, Jinwoo fought back. This was also the first time Jinwoo whipped out his job exclusive skill he picked up back in the Demon Castle when he hit level 70, which is the Monarchs domain. This killer move means all shadow soldiers fighting inside Jinwoo's shadow will get a 50% status boost. In the end, Jinwoo and his army defeated the High Orcs and their leader, and Jinwoo leveled up twice. On top of that, Jinwoo turned the dungeon boss into one of his shadow soldiers and named him Tusk. By the time he entered the Demon Castle again, he was around level 81, and this time he had to defeat the Demon King Baran, who was on the top floor of the Demon Castle. Jinwoo started at floor 76, and with Tusk's power, coupled with the Orb of Avarice, easily vaporized the demons, who were supposed to be fireproof, by the way, and each of them was around, 2000 XP. The best part about the Demon Castle was Jinwoo didn't even need to fight, because at that time he could extract, 820 shadows and could preserve 155 of them, and his shadows were just the ones doing the fighting. So after meeting Essel and gaining an entry permit, Jinwoo and his shadows managed to clear up to floor 89, and Jinwoo reached level 87. Tank and Igris also managed to level up, Igris from Knight to Elite Knight grade, and Tank from Elite Shadow Beast to Knight grade. When Jinwoo reached the 97th floor of the Demon Castle, he was already at level 90. By the time he reached the 100th floor, he was already at level 93. Then he fought Baran, the Demon King, who was also the copy of the Monarch of White Flames. Baran is pretty tough, my guys, because this guy can summon demons with an electrifying breath, as strong and as fast as lightning. Jinwoo almost died, man. But Essel saved him, because she distracted the Demon King. So, thanks to our girl, Jinwoo defeated Baran, stole his ride, the wyvern Kaiselin, and named it Kaisel instead. After that, Jinwoo had reached level 97. He also acquired a lot of items like the Demon Monarch's ring, which I mentioned earlier was a part of the set. So this ring actually gives 20 points for both sense and intelligence, but since Jinwoo has the complete set, all his stats have 15 plus bonus effects. He also scored the purified blood of the Demon King, the last piece he needed for the holy water of life. He actually used it on his mom and Jinho's dad. As for Jinwoo's rewards for completing the quest, he acquired a runestone that is another job skill, which is the Shadow Exchange. That's a cool ass skill, by the way. This skill does not need any mana. Jinwoo can swap places with one of his shadow soldiers. In short, Jinwoo can basically teleport. Once used, he's gotta wait 3 hours to use it again though. But the cooldown time, that 3 hours, gets shorter as the skill levels up. Jinwoo also acquired 2 powerful S-rank weapons. The first one was the Demon King's Dagger, which gives the user additional 220 attack damage. It also has a bonus effect called 2 as 1. As long as these 2 daggers are used at the same time, each dagger will receive bonus attack damage based on Jinwoo's strength stat points, meaning the higher Jinwoo's strength, the greater the damage bonus. The second one was the Demon King's Longsword, packing 350 damage. It's got this sick effect called Storms of White Flames that summons a wild thunderstorm wherever you swing it. Like wherever, man. Like this thing's wild. Later on, Jinwoo passed the sword to Shadow Igris, but Jinwoo did use this item during the Jeju Island raid. Now, during this Jeju Island raid, when Jinwoo was fighting the Ant King, his critical attack got a major upgrade to Mutilate. With his new power, slicing through the Ant King's armor was a piece of cake. When the Ant King was defeated, it gave Jinwoo a double level up. Jinwoo also extracted Min Byung's shadow for a bit to save Cha Hae-in, but ended up letting him go because of Bak. Then Jinwoo and his shadow squad went on a cleanup spree on Jeju Island. Here's where he brought out the Demon King's long sword, obliterating those ant eggs and shooting his level up to 100. He even turned the Ant King into his own shadow, naming him Beru. He tried the same with the Ant Mother Queen's shadow, but canceled the extraction because, Jinwoo found out that she was useless. Finally, he sent Beru to destroy the remaining 4,000 ants on Jeju Island. Fast forward, Jinwoo bumps into another red gate smack in the middle of a traffic jam. Jinwoo and his shadows actually cleared the dungeon. He didn't level up, but here's something crazy. Remember the key from the cursed loot box? Well, this chapter spills all the beans about it. Surprisingly, this key led him right back to where he started, the Cartenon temple. Yep, the temple with the creepy statues. Next was when Jinwoo and Jinho raided an A-rank dungeon, and after he took down the dungeon boss, he reached level 101, and all his job skills got a major boost, especially the Shadow Exchange, since the cooldown went down from 4 hours to 2 hours. He also extracted the shadow of the boss and named it Jima. There's also a crazy upgrade for his shadow preservation. He can not only preserve 840 shadows, but it now has a second effect called shared senses, meaning Jinwoo can see what his shadow soldiers see. Now that's cool as F. The funny thing was, when he first tried it out, he caught Beru watching historical dramas, and even saw Chae in mid-shower. Damn Jinwoo, you nasty. Now that was an accident. And so since he was at level 101, he decided to enter the Cartenon temple, where all his trauma started from. Jinwoo met the creator of the system, aka the architect, or Kandiaru. And at that moment, Jinwoo received his final test. If he survived, the architect would tell him everything. Also, Jinwoo can't leave until the final test is completely done and dusted. On top of this, the architect banned Jinwoo from using his shadows. That mofo. But still, Jinwoo managed to destroy a lot of statues. He even leveled up his skill, the Commander's Touch, to its final form, which is the Commander's Authority, and this time he can use it against a massive target. While Jinwoo was beating the hell out of the Statue of God, he was already at level 103. I don't know how that happened, but it was probably that he leveled up after destroying some of these statues. But after that, the next one was the Architect. At first, this guy was a pain in the ass, but Jinwoo managed to overpower the Architect and defeat him. As promised, the Architect used flashback no jutsu, and Jinwoo saw the war between an army of the Monarchs against the Silver Soldiers of the Rulers, which I explained in another video. Anyways, Jinwoo received the Black Heart from Ashbourne, who was the OG Shadow Monarch. In the end, Ashbourne betrayed the Architect as a payback for those who betrayed him, while Jinwoo defeated the Architect and saved the hunters who tried to save him. Yeah, this chapter's main theme is all about irony. By the way, the Black Heart gave Jinwoo a whopping 100k mana. With that kind of power, summoning his shadows will be a lot easier. Jinwoo's next level up was in Tokyo, Japan, where an S-rank gate popped up and giants started coming out of the gates and started killing everybody. If Jinwoo hadn't stopped these guys, solo leveling wouldn't even get an anime adaptation. Because these giants can easily destroy Japan. Jinwoo and his shadows took down the giants, turning them into shadows except for the biggest one guarding the gate. He named the first 6 giants numbers 1 to 6. Yeah, Jinwoo sucks at naming things, I agree. After Jinwoo and his army killed the biggest giant, he leveled up 4 times. He also took out the dungeon boss, Leisha, the king of the giants, and the monarch of the beginning. Earning a ton of experience, the system took a while to calculate, but Jinwoo ended up leveling up 8 times and arrived at level 122. In chapter 140, it was revealed that he leveled up some of his skills to their max. Like his advanced dagger techniques leveled up to Masters of Daggers. His active skills got upgrades too. Dash went to Quicksilver, Bloodlust to level 2, Dagger Toss to Dagger Rush, and Camouflage to level 2. He scored some new items too, like the Truth Seeker, but we didn't get to see the deets on that one. In chapter 142, Jinwoo tried to get a new shadow, a dragon named Kamish, but since the mighty lizard had been dead for so long, the extraction failed. He didn't get the dragon, but he did pick up a runestone with something called Dragon's Fearsome Roar. Basically, if he roars, anyone who's not that strong will go crazy. And the roar is so strong that you won't be able to move. It'll freeze you. By the way, Jinwoo got so powerful he easily killed Hwang Dong-soo and destroyed the strongest national level hunter, Thomas Andre. Hwang Dong-soo turned into Jinwoo's shadow named Greed. Because he's a bit greedy, that guy. Jinwoo also got a sick pair of daggers named Kamish's Wrath from Thomas Andre as a thank you for saving his guild members. These bad boys, by the way, are off the charts with 1500 attack damage and unmatched sharpness. And they get even more powerful the stronger Jinwoo gets. Jinwoo was around level 133 after the Monarch of Frost murdered President Go-Gun-hee. We didn't get an explanation in the manhwa about how Jinwoo managed to reach this level, but in the light novel, it was explained that since gates were popping up like crazy all over the globe, Jinwoo reached this level because his shadow soldiers took care of all the raids in Japan. Damn, Jinwoo was just like kicking it back, taking it easy, no sweat, don't let him see you sweat when you got shadows, you know what I'm saying? The Battle of the Monarchs began. It was crazy, because Jinwoo fought 3 monarchs at the same time. It was also a hard fight because the Monarch of Plague could make zombies and was very toxic, which meant she was really hot. I'm just kidding. But she was the first one to go down, and Jinwoo gained 3 levels from this girl. At that point, Jinwoo was around level 146. The toughest fight was between the Monarch of Frost and the Monarch of Fangs because the Frost Monarch could freeze things, create ice golems, while Raken could transform into a massive wolf, and both of them were super fast. Then these 2 mofos managed to kill Jinwoo, but then Jinwoo's unknown passive skill was triggered. In the light novel, this skill was called Evolution, because Jinwoo finally evolved into the new Shadow Monarch. Since Jinwoo reached his ultimate form, he doesn't need the system and finally deleted it. Thanks to Ashborn, Jinwoo got revived and whooped Rakken and the Frost Monarchs' asses. After that, Belion and the original Shadow Army joined Jinwoo, because the fight ain't over yet. There are still 3 Monarchs left. Well, actually, the Monarch of Steel was defeated by Beru and Belion, while the Monarch of Transfiguration, I actually don't know what happened to that guy. But let's just say that he died hearing Jinwoo's fearsome dragon roar. And the final boss, Antares, the King of Dragons and the Monarch of Destruction, we could potentially say he was the strongest opponent he had. It was a very tough fight, because Antares is strong. I mean, Bro can transform himself into a dragon. Bro's scales are tough as heck, and Antares' breath was super spicy. Jinwoo managed to fight back when he realized that he could create armor using the power of darkness. Antares thought it was spiritual body manifestation. It's a skill that can transform you into a monster, but it's not like that. It's way more powerful because Jinwoo can tap into the power of death. Jinwoo managed to achieve this because he'd spent a lot of time, almost dying. In this form, Jinwoo managed to shoot some purple lightning. And yup, it worked against Antares. Jinwoo can also use a gigantic sword and struck down the King of the Dragon. Bruh, I swear, this fight was like a battle between gods. But Antares managed to destroy Jinwoo's shadow armor. But bruh underestimated Jinwoo. So Jinwoo reminded the Dragon King who truly was the MC, And with his shadows and his father's dagger, Jinwoo managed to slice off Antares' face. And the Monarch of Destruction got destroyed. Well, actually, Antares can still fight back. But with the ruler's finishing blow, the Dragon King was defeated. The war was finally over. But Jinwoo asked the rulers to bring back time. Yeah, you're like, wait, what? Yeah, because he wanted to fight them again. No. Actually, he wanted to bring back time so he could bring back those humans and lives who had died. The rulers finally agreed, and with the Cup of Reincarnation, they brought back time. And then Jinwoo hunted the Monarchs in a different dimension and managed to kill all of them. When he returns to Earth, Jinwoo has the power to alter his age. He can be a kid, a teenager, or a guy with slick hair, or a man with a beard. However, Jinwoo became so overpowered that his power is like a nuclear fuel that has become so dangerous for those who lived on Earth. But Jinwoo still decided to stay. His powers actually had some slight effect on humans, and one of the effects was that some people started to see his shadow soldiers, even though they were hidden. Like this guy, Park Gi-sil, Jinwoo's teacher. After that, his powers also attracted other cosmic beings, like the Titans. Jinwoo managed to defeat them, of course, and even turn some of them into shadows. Jinwoo also got so strong that his commander's authority could literally lift military vehicles like tanks. So, Jinwoo became a literal god, and with this power, he can now summon 10 million shadows.